Professor Sandalow, thank you very much for joining us.
Delighted to be here.
You are the steering committee member of ICEF, and you have been taking leadership in writing the roadmap produced by ICEF. To start with, can you please describe this roadmap to us? What is its purpose?
Well, the ICEF Innovation Roadmap project was started about 5 years ago, and its purpose is really twofold. First is to produce new research that will help the world move forward in achieving net zero emissions, which is one of the important goals of the Paris Agreement, and it's really been a unifying theme of the ICEF conference. And a second is to help the world learn about ICEF, which is an important conference that brings people together from around the world every year. This year we're focusing on the topic of industrial heat, by which we mean the production of heat for industrial processes like iron and steel and cement and petrochemicals. And not many people are aware of this, but there are actually more greenhouse gas emissions that come from the production of heat for industry than from cars and planes combined. It's a hugely important issue when it comes to fighting global warming. But because it doesn't touch our lives as directly, say, as cars do and planes do, it doesn't get as much attention. So that's why we chose this year's topic, and we call it the Industrial Heat Decarbonization Roadmap. It sounds kind of wonky, actually. It sounds like something only experts would pay attention to, but it's incredibly important when it comes to fighting climate change. And the solutions are far away. We've made less progress in figuring out how to reduce emissions from these types of industrial processes than we have from cars and planes and from, say, the power sector.
So if we are to utilize this roadmap, who would utilize the roadmap? In what way?
Well, we write it for a broad range of stakeholders. We write it for, first of all, for researchers and researchers who are looking at these issues. Then we're writing it for the industries that are affected so they can have a roadmap to look at the types of steps that they might take to reduce emissions. We write it for governments, and we have some specific suggestions on policies. And we write it for media as well, and for others who can disseminate this story. So it's quite. We hope it will be useful to a wide range of stakeholders.
You have been the steering committee member of ICEF since its beginning. And so I wonder if you can share your experience of ICEF and how you feel this conference can contribute to our joint effort.
It's been a very exciting process to be involved in. I'm honored to be involved in it as a steering committee member. First, when Prime Minister Abe first convened this conference back in 2013, I believe, it was unclear what was going to happen as a result of it. But even at the first conference, it was a really superb gathering of some of the leading thinkers and leading doers when it comes to fighting climate change from around the world. And I think it's grown every year since then. So that now it's a gathering of really leading experts. And the dialogue is first rate. I give a lot of credit to our chair, Nobuo Tanaka, who has really made sure that our topics are relevant. When he's the moderator, he asks particularly good questions, and he sets really a tone that is really superb for the organization as a whole.
As we move forward, what do you look forward from ICEF? How do you feel that this conference could become and contribute?
Well, I think there's lots of growth potential for this conference. I think that people around the world are coming to understand what an important gathering this is. And so I think we're going to see even more leading figures come to this conference every year. I hope our roadmap project will continue to make contributions in this area. There's an enormous number of important projects that and topics that can be taken on with roadmaps of the type that we've been producing for the past several years, and I look forward to doing that. I think it's a tremendous opportunity to contribute to the dialogue on decarbonization.
Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.